This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
You have already picked a couch and chosen a drink, and that you're already all settled in and hanging out. Thank you for your patience. I was having a hell of a time. I got one of the pictures, because today's picture day, right, where we're going to do our little picture segment from personal pictures from viewers that you guys wanted to share. Someone sent me a video of their bird, and it is the cutest thing, and I really wanted to show it to you, but they sent it to me via Facebook, and I can't show Facebook on this platform, so I had to then try to download the video and try to make it happen. And then I thought I had it right, but I had it wrong. And anyway, long story short, I have the video, so I'm really excited to show you. This is the cutest thing. Let's do this off the bat. What do you guys think? I love this. This is a segment where you can share your photos and things going on in your life if you want to. I'm not going to show 50 pictures. If you send me 50, I'll pick one. Perhaps, but I'll show it and we'll talk about it, and then we'll move to the next one. And I feel like it is a way to get to know each other even more when you can put pictures. If those of you that aren't friends on Facebook or haven't, kind of delved into each other's lives outside of the show, it is a way to kind of get to know each other and get to know who's behind the name in the chat. So we will do that, and we'll do it right now. But before we do, I have to go back to Facebook because this message was very cute as well. So I want to read you what Enid has to say about her bird. Her bird is named Kita, and Kita is very quiet during the after party live. But when we hit the music at the end, that kind of chirpy little dancey music, Kita goes crazy. So this is this is pretty cute. Let me get this video for you. Hopefully I did it all right and you'll be able to see it. Here is Enid's bird, Kita. So cute. I will never play that close again without thinking that Kita is dancing around on the cage and chirping. So that is super, super cute. And then, of course, we have the new dog that Phineas has acquired and rescued. I believe this dog's name is Mango. I don't have a lot of information, but perhaps Phineas can put something in the chat if you want to say this. What? Wrong show? What's happening? Oh, the twinkly. Yeah, the twinkly music. Kita loves the twinkly music. So I think this is Mango, and this is the new dog that comes into Phineas's life. Sure is a cutie. I love how the spots are more muted on Mango's face than body. And Mango looks like, I think it's a she. I'll only say she because it looks like the color is pink. Maybe I'm genderizing. Yeah, Phineas says it's a rescue dog. And it looks like it's a she, right? And it looks like Mango is totally settling in well and feeling comfortable and sleepy, and it looks good. Like things are going well there. So that's really, really nice. Yeah, a lot of congratulations. Oh, it's a liver Dalmatian. Okay. Does that mean that some of their spots are more muted on their face? Is that the hallmark of the liver Dalmatian? I don't know. Yeah. So there's Mango. Welcome to Phineas's household. Look at that. Those are the only two submissions I got for this week, Kita and Mango. So we've got some great pictures, and we'll do it again next Thursday. So if you do want to send me any pictures, you want yours included, you can send them to me, kim@theafterparty.live. Again, it is kim@theafterparty.live is the best way to get me. And I would love to include yours as well. Do keep in mind that if you want to show pictures of kids, that the parents should give their permission first. So even I would say if you're a grandparent, just ask the parents first to make sure it's okay to show their picture on the internet, right? Because it is YouTube, and maybe some parents don't want their kids' photos. But if you do want to share, get the permission and then fire it away to me. That isn't that internet etiquette, right? Don't post a picture of someone else's kid without asking them first, making sure it's all right. Yeah. So we'll go by that rule here. Kim at the afterparty.live, the way to get me. All right, let's move into some of these stories, including the puffin cam. We had our eaglet cam, and we were looking at the eaglets, and then they had pipping watch, and they pipped, and now they're on fledgling watch, where they're going to hopefully fly in the next few weeks, and we'll keep our eye on that. And thanks to Yvonne for that story, by the way. But now there's something called the puffin cam. Those puffins are so cute. And it turns out we've got a live puffin cam. There's more than one. Here's what it looks like now. You can see them all out there. This is the Farne Islands in Northumberland in the UK, and they've got the puffin cam out there. The puffin counting season has begun. There are 2 live streams. This is camera 1. There's also a camera 2. I could only bring up one. But there are bird monitors trying to count the seabirds here. They think there are about 200,000 seabirds that return to this sanctuary every year. This is the 100th year of the bird monitoring that's done by the National Trust in the UK. And so they have 2 webcams set up by a conservation organization in the North Sea on these islands, these remote islands. So here we have the first cam that looks at the puffin burrows. And what you're looking for is parading puffins and ruffled feathers. The males defend their territory here. The puffin pairs will be billing or rubbing their bills together, almost like kissing. It's the way they reinforce their bond. There's one that's running across the screen. Look at him go. Toward the end of the season in late July, you'll be able to see young pufflings when they fledge the nest as well. See if I can zoom in on the puffins. Nope, that's as big as I can make it. Yeah. Very interesting. Look at them all out there hanging out, doing their puffin thing. You can see the holes more toward the other side of the screen where the puffins seem to be hanging out on the left, and then over toward the right, you've got some holes. Looks like maybe that's where they burrow. It's so peaceful to watch. Look at the puffins doing their puffining. Oh, here comes another one. He just wants to mug for the camera. Oh, that's so cute. I love the puffin cam. Yep. He's just hanging out right in front of the camera. So the puffin cam counting is ongoing. The second camera is pointed at the cliffs where there's all types of different seabirds that are gathering, and you can see them as we are watching now, coming and going. They're feeding their young. There's some peregrine falcons there, a merlin. And the conservation folks say that this year is really significant. So what they want is for more people to become watchers, appreciators of this annual spectacle. They call it a window to a unique world, and it truly is. One of the rangers on the Farne Islands said that we hope by seeing the birds, people will be inspired to visit in person one day, but also to realize just how special these wild islands are and how we all have to do everything to ensure these islands and these bird species have a long, healthy future ahead. So this island in the Farne Islands sits about a mile and a half off the coast of Northumberland, and they call it an ideal habitat for 23 different species of seabirds. It's also a stopping off point for migratory species of birds. You get long-eared owls, blue throats, ring ouzels, and there's also gray seals that call this island and group home, and they return every year to give birth to their pups and care for their pups on the island as well. So this is kind of cool. The scientists have been drawn to these islands for more than a century because of the birds here. The earliest records from scientific missions to this island? 1913. That's how long, at least that's how long we know that scientists have been drawn to this area. So there have been watchers in these islands. They've documented since the 1920s. And in 1939, the puffins were noted to be increasing. They call them the clowns from the sea. So they're doing important work. They're counting the puffins, they are weighing them, they're even banding some of the birds there. And they say the colored rings will help them better track these birds. These puffins are threatened by shifting fish stocks, dwindling fish stocks, and rising ocean temperatures. So they say ringing them with these colorful rings will help us understand more about the individuals, and they'll be able to follow them for several years to see how long they live, how far they travel to other colonies as well. That over the next few weeks, they'll ring about 50 adult birds as part of their census and productivity monitoring as well. So they're also going to use geolocation tags so they can understand better the various species that are on this island, to use that tracking technology. I just want to keep talking because I enjoy looking at this picture of this live cam so much. So maybe we'll check out on the puffins tomorrow as well. Let the great puffin counting begin. Awesome. All right, I'll take the puffin cam away. Do I have to? Yeah, I should, huh? How about this story out of Harvard? They thought it was a copy. It's not a copy. It's the real deal. This is wild. Finally, some good news for Harvard. They've had a rough month. This copy of the Magna Carta that was purchased by the school law library for $27 in 1946. Yes, 27 bucks. They thought for years, for the last 80 years, that it was an unofficial copy from the time, right? No, it's an original from 1300. It is one of just 7 copies issued in 1300 by Edward I that may have survived this. There was a professor of medieval history at King's College in London. His name is David Carpenter. And he stumbled on this document labeled as an unofficial copy of the Magna Carta from 1327 in the Harvard Law School Library's online collection. He said, I was looking through all these online statute books, trying to find unofficial copies of the Magna Carta, and I immediately thought, my God, this looks for all the world like an original of Edward I's confirmation of the Magna Carta in 1300. He said, appearances are deceptive, but then he contacted Harvard apparently, and they used a battery of tests to establish this is an authentic document. It is not a copy. It is known as HLS MS 172. And they know this because they used spectral imaging, they used UV light. They say there's places that the condition of this document isn't very good, but he worked through it word by word, and it matched perfectly to the other 6 original documents that remain. One little detail that is being called extraordinary about the handwriting is that the initial E at the start of Edwardus, the next letter, the D of Edwardus, is also a capital, which they say is quite unusual. And yet you do find that capital D in one of the other 6 originals. This document, the Magna Carta, originally granted by King John in 1215, is the first document that put into writing the principle that the king and his government were not above the law. Can we hang that on the White House? Because we need that. Sorry, we don't get political, right? This is being called one of the world's most valuable documents. Carpenter says, it asserts a fundamental principle that the ruler is subject to the law. He can't just say, into prison, off with your head, I'm seizing your property. If he wants to act against you, he has to do so by legal process. It's the foundation stone of the Western tradition of law and democracy. So again, Harvard's library bought what it believed to be a copy for $27.50 in 1946. A month earlier, a Royal Air Force veteran had sold it to the London book dealers, Sweet and Maxwell, for £42. The law library says it's not easy. It's easy to understand why it was miscatalogued when it was sold. Everyone in 1945 was a bit tired. It's worth many, many, many times that. So Carpenter says this is really great news for Harvard, and he's amazed. He said first he's amazed that this thing even exists, and then he's amazed that Harvard didn't realize what they had in their collection. He said, I felt awestruck in a way because the 1300 confirmation by Edward I is the most authoritative of all confirmations. So they think that this document was issued to the former parliamentary borough of Appleby in Cumbria in 1300, and then that it was passed down as they trace its lineage. But I forget what the word is when you're tracing something's provenance. They think it was passed down through an evil aristocratic family of the 18th century called the Lowthers, who then gave it to Thomas Clarkson, who was the leading slavery abolitionist. And then, through Clarkson's estate, it went to Forrest Maynard, who was a First World War flying ace, who ended up as the commander of the air base on Malta at the start of the Second World War. They call the provenance of this document extraordinary. We'll see. I I mean, given all the cuts Harvard is facing in research funding and, you know, having their tax exempt status revoked, they could sell this and probably fund the school. Maybe they don't want to sell this. This is a pretty important thing. So yeah, it's a real one. Look at that. This is a story about reptile evolution. The ancient reptile footprints are shaking up theories about when animals evolved to live on the land. This reptile-like animal has the oldest fossil footprints. They're dated to around 350 million years ago. And scientists in Australia say that discovery suggests that after the first animals emerged from the ocean about 400 million years ago, that they evolved the ability to live exclusively on land, and they did it faster than we had previously believed. They say that we thought the transition from fin to limb had taken longer. Previously, the earliest known reptile footprints found in Canada were dated to 318 million years ago. Again, these are dated to 350 million years ago. These ancient footprints in Australia were found on a slab of sandstone recovered from Melbourne, and they show reptile like feet with long toes and hooked claws. The scientists estimate this animal was about 80 centimeters long, may have resembled a modern monitor lizard. They published the findings yesterday in the journal Nature. The thought is that the hooked claws are a crucial identification clue. That tells us that this is indeed a walking animal. And that's how we know that this animal was a land dweller. So it kind of changes scientific thoughts. It looks like, I don't know if they painted them blue and red, or they're highlighted in yellow, the front feet, and the back feet in blue. All right, so here's what it looks like. And again, it's highlights on this picture of the slab of the oldest known walking fossil of a walking animal. And here's what it looked like. Again, the front feet are in yellow and the back feet are in blue. And you can see the toes, the hooked toes, at the prints, toe prints at the top, and that's how they know that this was a walking creature. They say only animals that evolved to live solely on land ever developed claws. The earliest vertebrates, fish and amphibians, never developed hard nails and remained dependent on watery environments to lay their eggs and to reproduce. But this branch of the evolutionary tree that led to modern reptiles, birds, and mammals, known as amniotes, developed feet with nails or claws that were fit for walking on hard ground. It's the earliest evidence that they've ever seen of an animal that had claws. So when this creature was alive, the world was hot and steamy, and vast forests started covering the planet. Australia was part of the supercontinent Gondwana. The fossil footprint records a series of events in one day. One reptile scampered across the ground before a light rain fell. Some raindrop dimples partially obscured its trackways, and then two more reptiles ran by in the opposite direction before the ground hardened and was then covered with sediment. The researchers say the fossil trackways are beautiful because they tell you how something lived, not just what something looked like. So, again, we have evidence that we creatures in general, walking and living out of the ocean a little earlier than thought. I I love this story. Look at this little pupper. You can see the cell phone there for size reference. The owner of this dog thinks that, and her name is Lulu. She thinks Lulu might be the world's shortest dog. We might have a new world's shortest dog. This is Lulu, the Yorkie from Ontario, who is 3 inches tall. This woman, her name is Kim. We like that name. She believes her Yorkshire Terrier, at just 3 inches tall, weighing less than a pound, might be the smallest dog in the world. But she says Lulu has a lot of energy and a lot of spunk just in a little tiny package. She said she's probably the sauciest dog I've ever had. When she had her first bath, she swatted at me and bit me, telling me I don't like this. She has the tiniest little teeth. Currently, the world's shortest dog is a Chihuahua named Pearl, and Pearl is 3.59 inches tall. Lulu is shorter. She's only 3 inches, but she's also only 4 months old. And the Guinness World Records folks won't accept official measurements until she's at least a year old. So Lulu might be the world's shortest dog, but she's going to have to wait, find out when her growing days are done if she's shorter than Pearl. She's so cute and tiny, though. Can you imagine? There is a study out of Oxford suggesting that chimps use medicinal plants to heal wounds and also to aid other chimps. What's interesting about this story is I thought we'd already done it. And it turns out we kind of did, but now the research is in. And I have been sent this story by multiple people. My husband sent it to me, Calvin Wong sent it to me. And I kept looking at it thinking, haven't we already talked about this? Yeah, we have. And now, but wait, there's more. This study out of Oxford suggests that chimps use medicinal plants not only to heal their own wounds, but also to help other chimps as well. They give each other first aid treatment, which shows they have empathy. And that's huge. So the discovery was made last year. The chimps were seen seeking out and eating certain plants in order to heal themselves from various afflictions. So that was the first story. And when researchers saw that, they decided they needed to do a little bit more research. And so they did. And some of these researchers spent 4 months stints in the jungle, in the Budongo forest following this wild chimps. And what they found is that, yes, this new report published in the journal Frontiers of Ecology and Evolution this week gives us some new information on the origin of human medical care and how primates use natural resources as medicine in a lot of different ways to stay healthy. The chimpanzees and similar primate species are known to be, of course, the closest genetic relatives to humans. So, this team of scientists from Britain's University of Oxford observed wild chimps for about 8 months in Africa in this forest, and they saw them tend to their wounds with medicinal like plants and at times tend to each other as well. And all of this was filmed and documented. Even when the chimps were helping each other, one of them being helped from a hunting snare left by humans. And the researchers say it adds to the evidence that wild chimpanzees have the capacity for empathy. The things humans cling to is that we're somehow this very special, unique species because we're capable of caring for others, of being altruistic, that we are capable of empathy, like that's some kind of human only emotion. But according to this research, chimps are able and capable of identifying others in need and then addressing those specific needs. And they documented 41 different cases of care in wounded chimps, 34 cases of self-care, 7 in the care of other chimps. There were at least 4 instances of care for other chimpanzees that weren't related, so they weren't part of the same troop. And the researchers say the findings show at least some types of pro-social behavior toward non-kin may be more widespread than previously thought. They say they need to do more detailed investigative work, but it's fascinating. It's fascinating that these things we thought were only human turns out maybe not. Maybe it's more widespread to have empathy and to care for each other. Yeah. All right, should we do it? I think we should do it. Let us go to it. It is Trivia Thursday, after party style. We're going for it. And I have to give credit today to my husband, who has come up with our trivia. So if the trivia sucks, then we'll just blame him for this. But here are some of the questions that he has come up with, and I'm hoping they're not too hard. Are we ready? I'm going to go to the chat and get all situated so I can see who's answering the question. You are just in time. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Okay, here you go. Ready for some trivia, says Nullifidian. Okay. All right, first question. Who was the president of the Second Continental Congress that met in Philadelphia in 1776? Who was the president of the Second Continental Congress that met in Philadelphia in 1776? President of the Second Continental Congress. Not George Santos, not George Washington, not Benjamin Franklin or Washington or Adams. Mm-mm. Good answers, though. Yeah, John Smith has it. It was John Hancock. He was indeed the president of the Second Continental Congress. John Hancock is correct. Yeah, well done. John Smith has got it. All right, next question. And well done, John. Next question is, who proposed the plan for a Declaration of Independence? I would not know this. This is for the robo-historians among us. Who proposed the plan for a Declaration of Independence? It seems like we should know this. Maybe everyone knows it but me. I don't know. Who proposed the plan for a Declaration of Independence? Mhm. Who proposed the plan for the Declaration of Independence? John Smith, the historian among us. Yes. The answer is Richard Henry Lee. Richard Henry Lee. John Smith said Richard Henry. I will take it. Sold. Richard Henry it is. Richard Henry Lee. Well done. Next question. Who was the author of the pamphlet titled Common Sense that helped in promoting the idea of independence for the American colonies? Who wrote the pamphlet titled Common Sense that helped in the promoting of the idea of independence for the American colonies? Yeah, you guys got this one. That was Thomas Paine, and you guys knew it. Look at that. Jim Shields, first to the punch. Thomas Paine is right. John Watson is right. It was Thomas Paine. Eileen has it. And Uncle Jim has it. And Vanessa has it. And Jennifer L. is on it. Donna is doing it. And Heather has it. And no, Sandy, no, certainly not. SJ and John Smith and Cameo and Rhonda and Calvin. Tammy's got it. Bring the pain, says John Slade. That's right. Okay, good job on that one. The next one. This is the guy whose name in history you don't want to be known for this. Who is the person that refused to sign the Declaration of Independence? Who refused to sign the Declaration of Independence? Never heard of him because he didn't do the right thing. He just kind of got lost to history. Who refused to sign the Declaration of Independence? You would think. No, it's right. John Smith. It's Dickinson. His name is John Dickinson, and he did not sign the Declaration of Independence. John Smith says Dickinson. Jennifer says Dickens, but she's half right, so I'm taking it. Add an in son on the end, and you're on your way to success, my friend. Heather is also correct. Some ornery douche, and that would be correct. Angie Dickinson, perhaps a long lost kin, right? The Dickinson, you say, says Trevor. Yeah. Jennifer says he's from Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. Yeah. Next question. Which of the following men was not on the committee that wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, John Adams, Roger Sherman, or George Washington? Which of the following men was not on the committee that wrote the Declaration of Independence? Who was not on the committee? Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, John Adams, Roger Sherman, or George Washington? Which one did not do the committee work there? You guys got it. It was George Washington. He was not on that committee. Looks like Jim had it first. Cameo had it as well. Jennifer L., Eileen, Josh had it. Trevor had it. And so did Phineas and Rhonda and Calvin and Vanessa. And way to go. Nicely done. Next question. Which one of the following men signed both the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution? Which one of the following men, or which one of these men, signed both the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution? Then he didn't give me the list of men. Well, we'll just see if you know. See if you know who signed both. David watched 1776 recently. He's a history buff. So our bookshelf in our bedroom is packed with presidential biographies and history books. He reads history textbooks for fun. So that's what we've got going on over here. So here's the answer that I have for this question. John Adams was serving as the ambassador to Britain at the time. Thomas Jefferson was serving as the ambassador to France when the Constitution was signed. James Madison did not sign the Constitution, or did sign the Constitution, but did not sign the Declaration of Independence. So the correct answer in this one is Roger Sherman, who signed both. Looks like that's what he's telling me. So if you said Sherman that signed both, that would have been the correct answer. And I don't know. John Smith had it. Yeah, Sherman. Sherman is the one who signed. John and Herbie Hancock. Yeah, that's the answer to that one. Okay, the next question. The Declaration of Independence was actually signed when? Was signed. What date was it signed? Not adopted, but signed. Jim says July 2nd. July 2nd, 1776. On a Thursday. July 2nd, 1776. July 6th. Here's the answer I have for you. The Declaration of Independence was adopted July 2nd, 1776, and was posted July 4th, 1776, but the actual signing of the document actually took place August 2nd of 1776. That seems like, I don't know, kind of a trick question. Yeah, signed August 2nd, 1776. I don't know. All right. Thomas Jefferson was greatly influenced by which philosopher when he wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson was greatly influenced by which philosopher when he wrote the Declaration of Independence? Yeah, Pony Express times. A lot of good philosophers coming in. Plato, Voltaire. John Locke is the answer. Well done, Donna Holm. John Locke. John Smith knew it too. He said John Locke. Yep. Rhonda had it. It was Locke. That's right. Government has a responsibility to protect the people, right? Who was the last founding father president? Who was the last founding father president? John Locke was great on Lost. Who was the last founding father president? And the answer is James Monroe. And I see that it was an answer that Uncle Jim had. And so well done. Also, John Smith had it first, I think. It was Monroe. Well done. That's the last founding father president. All right. Which founding father was the first Chief Justice of the United States? Which founding father was the first Chief Justice of the United States? And this person is in my family tree, interestingly enough. Founding father, the first Chief Justice of the United States. John Jay is the answer. John Watson has it. That is correct. John Jay. I should really know more about him. Which founding father lived at Montpellier? The way you say that? Which founding father lived at Montpellier? Montpelier. That would be, see if anybody has it. It would be Madison. lived at Montpellier. Madison. I didn't see that. If anyone had it, I'm sorry. Okay, and the next one, who was the youngest of the founding fathers? Who was the youngest of the founding fathers? You guys will probably get this one. The youngest of the founding fathers. Hamilton is the youngest of the founding fathers. That's correct. John Smith had it. Trevor had it. Yep. Hamilton was the youngest. Which founding father that became president did not go to college? Which founding father that became president did not go to college? Which founding father who became president did not go to college? And Tammy says it's Washington. And Tammy is right. George Washington didn't go to college. So Tammy has it, Nullifidian has it, Calvin has it, John Slade has it, George will work for me, John Smith, Donna Holm has it, and Eileen has it, and Heather has it. Yeah, didn't go to college. Isn't that crazy? I guess back then maybe it wasn't so crazy. Okay. Do I have any more for you? How about this one? This will be the last one as far as history, presidential history. Which founding father founded the University of Virginia? Which founding father founded the University of Virginia? And the answer is Thomas Jefferson. And you guys knew it. You had it. Uncle Jim had it. Cameo had it. Eileen had it. Donna and Jennifer L. S.J. Lola had it. John Smith had it. Vanessa's on it. Well done. Got one, she says. Yes. All right, let's switch to movie trivia because I had a request for that. So we'll lighten it up a little bit. Who said this? I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins. I am a cotton-headed ninny muggins. What movie is that from? I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins. Yeah, you know it. John Smith, a presidential historian and a movie historian. Elf is correct, John. And Eileen has it as well. Buddy the Elf will work, John Smith. Yep, Buddy the Elf. That is from Elf. Well done. And the next one is Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner. What movie is it from? Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner. Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner. What movie? Here they come. Sandy, first to the punch with Dirty Dancing. Eileen has it. S.J. Lola has it. Dirty Dancing it is for John Smith and Vanessa and Calvin and Phineas. Dirty Sanchez. Dirty Dancing says Heather. Yes. Dirty Dancing is right. The next one. You can't just walk out of a drive-in. You can't just... Well, let's do this one. How about this one? Buzz your girlfriend. Woof. Buzz your girlfriend. Woof. I don't know if I'm saying that right. What movie is that from? Buzz your girlfriend. Woof. From what movie is that? Oh, it looks like Ricky O'Bear knew most of our answers today. Oh. The answer is Buzz your girlfriend. Woof is from Home Alone is the answer to this one. Let's see if anybody had it. Toy Story, Toy Story, Toy Story. That was a good answer because of Buzz in there. Yeah, that was from Home Alone. What's this one from? Here's looking at you, kid. Famous line. What movie is it from? Here's looking at you, kid. Casablanca, says Sandy. And I think Uncle Jim was the fastest typer on this one. Uncle Jim had it. They all kind of popped in at the same time over here. John Smith and Cameo and Sandy, S.J. Lola, Nullifidian, John Slade, John Watson, Karen, Jennifer, Eileen has it, Trevor, Vanessa, Tammy, Rhonda, and Calvin, and SF, Tesla, and Donna. Good job, you guys. Here's the next one. Think you deserve to be here, don't ya? Fraternizing among Navy men? Think you deserve to be here, don't ya? Fraternizing among Navy men? What movie is it from? Think you deserve to be here, don't ya? Fraternizing among Navy men? It is not Top Gun. Good answer, though. Not A Few Good Men. Good answer. McHale's Navy. I like that, but no. The Tom Cruise movie. Officer and a Gentleman. You guys are on the right track. Reacher. No, it's not from Reacher. The Right Stuff, says Cameo. No. I'll give you the answer. That is from a movie called Men of Honor. Men of Honor. Think you deserve to be here, don't you? Fraternizing among Navy men. Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you? What movie is it from? Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you? The Graduate is correct. Sandy has it. And so does Uncle Jim. And so does John Smith. And Eileen. And SJ. Dustin movie. So does Vanessa. And Phineas. And Cameo. Peter has it. So does John Slade. SF Tesla. Rhonda. Heather. Jennifer. Yeah, that's kind of a famous one, right? Mm-hmm. Movie is called The Graduate. All right. I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are going to love it. I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are going to love it. What movie is that from? Yep. I will take it. It is Back to the Future, and John Smith had it, followed by Cameo, Back to the Future, Sandy, Back to the Future, Heather had it, and so did Karen and John. He didn't do the movie trivia. He just did the history. Jennifer and Uncle Jim has it. And I think Vanessa in there as well. I'll take Peter's. Yep, that's true. Eileen, Nullifidian, Marty McFly, Back to the Future, Calvin Wrong. Yes, that's true. Okay, next one. Okay, if you're gonna know this right away, and then you'll go, "Oh, what was that movie? I ate his liver with some fava beans. I ate his liver with some fava beans." What's that movie called? I ate his liver with some fava beans. Mm-hmm. It is Silence of the Lambs, Peter Newton, Heather, Karen, S.J. Lola, John Slade, Silence of the Goats, Silence of the Lambs, says Eileen. Yes. Yes, John. And yes, Tammy. And Vanessa and Luis has it. And so does Jennifer L. And a nice Chianti, says Peter. Indeed. Rhonda has it as well. So does Calvin. The sound. Yeah. Okay, next one. Say hello to my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. What movie is it from? Yeah, John, it's from Scarface. Who said it first? I have John Smith is a fast typer. Yes, it is from Scarface. Mm-hmm. Scarface. Yes, P. John Slade and Calvin and Eileen and Nullifidian and Phineas and Vanessa, Luis, Rhonda had it, Jennifer, S.J. Lola. Good job, you guys. All right. The next one. As far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a gangster. As far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a gangster. Yep, you guys got this one too. John Smith says it was Goodfellas. Correct. S.J. Lola knew it. So did Eileen and Sandy and John and Calvin and Josh and Cameo. Goodfellas. SF Tesla and Andrew had it. Hi, Andrew. And Nullifidian had it. Goodfellas is correct. All right. Yes, sir, boss. Like the drink, only not spelled the same. Yes, sir, boss. Like the drink, only not spelled the same. Yes, sir, fellas. Yes, sir, boss. Like the drink, only not spelled the same. How did you know it's the Green Mile? John Smith, yes. Jennifer, yes. The Green Mile is correct, Andrew. Well done. You guys are on top of it. That is right. If there's a hell and those sons of bitches are from it, then there's got to be a heaven. If there's a hell and those sons of bitches are from it, then there has got to be a heaven. I'll say it again. If there's a hell and those sons of bitches are from it, then there has got to be a heaven. No takers yet. Calvin's like, what is that about? Not from Dirty Dancing or Schindler's List. Good guess on Field of Dreams. The movie is called From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn. We all go a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. What do you think? We all go a little mad sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trevor knew this one. It's Psycho. We all go a little mad sometimes is from Psycho. Well done. I think you're the only one that got that one. At least it looks like that to me. Yeah, good job. Psycho is correct. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Andrew throwing it in as well. The power of Christ compels you is from, yes, The Exorcist. You guys got it. Looks like John Slade had it first, followed by Jennifer L. and Heather and SJ and Eileen and Josh, John Smith, John Watson, Tammy had it. Vanessa did too. So did Phineas and Calvin and SF Tesla and Andrew and Uncle Jim. Yeah. The power of Christ compels you. At my signal, unleash hell. At my signal, unleash hell. What movie is it from? At My Signal, Unleash Hell. Yeah, you knew it right away. Gladiator. That is correct. Gladiator. At My Signal, Unleash Hell. Yes. All right, we'll do a couple more and then we'll wrap it up. We can destroy what we have written, but we cannot unwrite it. We can destroy what we have written, but we cannot unwrite it. Might be a little more challenging. We can destroy what we have written, but we cannot unwrite it. The movie is A Clockwork Orange. A Clockwork Orange is the name of this one. I didn't see that anyone had gotten that. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Heather, one of my college professors after grading my paper. Apollo 13. That is correct. Uncle Jim, Houston, we have a problem came from Apollo 13. Jennifer L. had it, S.J. Lola, Cameo, John Slade, and John Smith, and Peter Newton, and Karen, and Sandy, and John Watson, and Eileen, and Nullifidian, and the list goes on, SF Tesla, on and on. Good job, everybody. I wish I knew how to quit you. 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 Is from Brokeback Mountain. Peter Newton had it. And so did John Slade and Vanessa Pacheco and Jennifer and Heather and Doug and Sandy, Eileen, the Laphidian, Calvin, Trump followers, Judy W., my second husband. I wish I knew how to quit you. Couple more. He is the one. He is the one. He is the one. What movie is that from? The Matrix. That's right. He is the one. John Smith had it, and so did John Slade, and so did Jennifer L. Good job. So did Phineas have it. Yeah, he is the one is from The Matrix. Andrew had it as well. Good job. All right. And the last one. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It's from The Shining. Peter knew it. So did Uncle Jim and John and Sandy and S.J. Lola and Eileen and Josh and Vanessa and Heather and John Smith and Rhonda and Andrew had it and Calvin. Way to go, you guys. All right, thus ends this episode of the After Party Live. But don't worry, because in what? Less than 2 hours? Almost-ish? We'll be back 2.5 hours. We'll be back with the Nikki Maduro show. It is a very, very fun show. Cocktails, mocktails, politics. We have the best time, and I really want to invite you to join us tonight. Again, it is the Nikki Maduro show, 5 p.m. right here on YouTube. Maduro, Medoro, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you. That again, 5 p.m. the Nikki Maduro show. So thank you for spending time. Thank you for all the contributions that have come in, possibly to PayPal. And thank you for supporting this show and for being here, participating in trivia. Just really, really grateful. Tomorrow, we'll have the Mark Thompson Show. JL Covan is back. We'll have Friday Fabulous Florida. Jim Avila will join us, and Michael Snyder will join us. Then tomorrow on your After Party Live, of course, At the Movies with Tim Sika will go down. And don't forget, tonight at 5 p.m., the Nikki Maduro Show. Until we meet again here on the YouTube, make it a great Thursday, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye. Oh, click like and subscribe.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Go, Kita, go! Here she goes, dancing on the kid. Thanks for the reminder, Karen. Please hit the like button. Yay!